So, a famous chef that many of you may know, Guy Fieri, opened up a restaurant in 1998 in San Francisco. It's called Johnny Garlic's. The most popular item on their menu, and what we'll be talking about today, is how to make the Cajun chicken Alfredo. So Guy Fieri, again, you guys don't know him, he's all over Food Network. He's a very well-renowned chef, and this is one of his famous recipes. He says it's one of his favorites, and it's one of the first things that he learned how to make when he started becoming a chef. So your reasons to listen to my speech today: to gain knowledge of a new recipe from a famous chef, and to diversify your diet with a tasty, spicy creation. So that's a picture of the final product, which we'll get to towards the end of the speech here a little bit. Now, to preview the things we'll be talking about today. First, we'll talk about the proper ingredients to purchase, what you'll need to make this dish. Secondly, we'll talk about how to cook and combine the ingredients. And finally, we'll talk about how to portion and serve it to your guests. So our first topic, which is purchasing the proper ingredients. It's important when you're purchasing the ingredients to know what you're buying and why it needs to be these specific things. First, we're going to buy the chicken breast. We're going to cut it up into very small pieces. You want to cut it up into small pieces so it's equally proportioned throughout the meal. Blackened seasoning, which we have right here. The blackened seasoning adds a spicy kick to it and is what gives it a differential from a regular chicken and pasta dish to add that flavor. Heavy cream, which is going to go into our sauce that we're making. We'll give it a creamy, thick texture. Olive oil, which we'll be using with the chicken to cook. Bruschetta, which will help form a chunky tomato flavored base in the sauce that we're making. Parmesan cheese is also in the sauce, and we'll talk later about adding that if you'd like to your meal as well. Fettuccine. The reason why we use fettuccine instead of other pasta, which is a common mistake someone would make when trying to create this dish, is according to Barilla, which is the #1 seller of pasta products in the United States. Fettuccine is best for sauce dishes that want a creamy texture. The sauce in the bowl that we're making will be added to the fettuccine, and it sticks better to the pasta. And then garlic we're going to be using in addition for the sauce, which will help create the flavor we're looking for. So now we'll talk about how to cook and combine the ingredients. Cooking and combining the ingredients. 425 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes is what we're going to use to cook our chicken. You want to bake it at this temperature and for this time for a various amount of reasons. First of all, it's going to keep the inside juicy, not making the chicken texture dry and rubbery. And also important is that it's going to crisp the outside, which is another key factor of the dish to add that crispiness to the chicken. 10 to 12 minutes is how long we're boiling the pasta for. Now, if you've ever read a pasta box, typically it'll say a time limit, and then it'll say according to your taste, depending on what Italians use, is al dente. Al dente, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, technically means to the tooth, meaning depending on how crunchy or how thick you like the texture of your pasta, you would cook for either 10 or 12 minutes. The longer you cook it, the softer it'll get. Once we get it into the final product, the skillet, we're going to use low heat, cover it, and stir it constantly. So now we'll talk about portioning and serving it. When we portion it, you want to make sure obviously that someone's not getting just chicken or just fettuccine. You won't want to put too much sauce on it or barely any sauce, so you want to have the right amount on each. Another key factor is that we're going to be adding different spices according to your taste. I have, for example, crushed red pepper and Italian seasoning, which will help the flavor. That different flavor will be, if you like it spicier, if you like that Italian seasoning. So you can see here that all we're going to do is just be adding it all into one. I've pre-made the chicken and baked it already, as well as the pasta, and the sauce is already mixed as well. So we'll add that on. And then once we put it onto the stove, we're going to put it on low heat, which obviously we're going to be doing in just a minute here. Low heat covered for approximately 5 to 10 minutes to finish the product. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy your dish.